Naked Statistics by Charles Wheelan. Introduction. What's the point? Charles Wheelan begins with a simple question. Why should we care about statistics? His answer is clear, because statistics is the science of making sense of the world's messiness. Whether it's predicting election results, evaluating a new drug, or even deciding which baseball player deserves a multi-million-dollar contract, statistics is the hidden force shaping decisions all around us. The point isn't math for math's sake, it's clarity in a noisy world. Chapter 1. What's the point? Wheelan dives into examples that feel familiar: casinos, lotteries, and sports. He shows how statistics helps us separate luck from skill and why intuition alone often misleads us. The big idea: statistics is a tool for finding patterns and truth in randomness. Chapter 2. Descriptive Statistics. Here we meet the basics: mean, median, mode, and standard deviation. But Wheelan doesn't lecture. He tells stories. Imagine Bill Gates walking into a bar. Suddenly the average income skyrockets, but the median barely moves. The lesson? Averages can hide as much as they reveal. Descriptive statistics summarize data, but they must be read with care. Chapter 3. Deceptive Description. Numbers can lie, or at least mislead. Wheelan shows how charts, percentages, and averages can be twisted to tell the story someone wants you to believe. For example, reporting a 50% improvement sounds impressive until you learn the baseline was tiny. This chapter is a warning. Always ask what's behind the number. Chapter 4. The Importance of Data. Good analysis starts with good data. Wheelan explains why flawed or incomplete data leads to flawed conclusions. Garbage in, garbage out. He highlights how careful data collection, from surveys to experiments, is the foundation of trustworthy statistics. Chapter 5. Correlation. One of the most famous lessons: correlation is not causation. Ice cream sales and drowning deaths rise together, but ice cream doesn't cause drowning. Hot weather does. Correlation is powerful for spotting relationships, but dangerous if we mistake it for proof of cause. Chapter 6. Basic Probability. Probability is the language of uncertainty. Wheelan explains why casinos always win, why insurance companies thrive, and why rare events feel scarier than they are. Probability helps us measure risk and make smarter choices even when outcomes are uncertain. Chapter 7. Problems with Probability. Here Wheelan explores the traps. Our brains are terrible at judging odds. We overestimate rare dangers like shark attacks and underestimate everyday risks like driving. He shows how misunderstanding probability leads to bad decisions in health, finance, and policy. Chapter 8. The Central Limit Theorem. This is the beating heart of statistics. The central limit theorem explains why, when we take enough samples, the results form a predictable bell curve. It's why polling works, why quality control is possible, and why randomness often produces order. Wheelan makes this deep concept surprisingly approachable. Chapter 9. Inference. Inference is about drawing conclusions from data. Did a new drug really work, or was it just chance? Wheelan introduces concepts like confidence intervals and statistical significance, showing how they help us separate real effects from random noise. Chapter 10. Polling. Polls are everywhere: elections, marketing, public opinion. Wheelan explains how a small, well-chosen sample can reveal truths about millions of people. But he also shows how bad sampling, biased questions, or poor methodology can produce wildly misleading results. Chapter 11. Regression Analysis. Regression is the workhorse of modern statistics. It lets us measure how one factor influences another while holding everything else constant. For example, how much does education affect income once you control for age, gender, and experience? Regression is powerful, but it requires careful design. Chapter 12. Common regression mistakes. Wheelan warns about pitfalls. leaving out important variables, confusing correlation with causation, or overfitting models. Regression can illuminate truth or create illusions, depending on how it's used. Chapter 13, Program Evaluation. Here statistics meets real-world policy. How do we know if a job training program works, or if smaller class sizes improve education? Wheelan shows how randomized trials and careful statistical design can reveal what actually makes a difference. Chapter 14, The Irresistible Lure of Regression Analysis. Regression is so powerful that it's tempting to use it everywhere. Wheelan explores both its promise and its dangers. From predicting crime rates to evaluating healthcare, regression can guide decisions, but only if we respect its limits. Chapter 15, Keep Hope Alive. The book closes on an optimistic note. Statistics, Wheelan argues, is not about intimidating formulas. It's about empowering us to see the world more clearly. With statistical thinking, we can cut through noise, test our assumptions, and make better choices. In a world overflowing with data, statistical literacy isn't optional anymore. It's essential. Conclusion. Why this book matters. Naked Statistics succeeds because it strips away the dread. Wheelan doesn't just teach formulas, he tells stories that show why statistics matters in everyday life. By the end, listeners don't just understand statistics better, they see it as a lens for understanding life itself.